So you didn't feel worthy. Where did that come from?
Oh, I had fear of success.
Well, hold it.
Which sounds
you had a
strange.
fear of success. So last year, your business, tell us how your business did.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I knew you were going to ask that, so I checked it out. Okay, so we closed 142 million last year, and it was 329 units.
Wow, that's a lot of business.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Tell me about, you said you were forced to build a team. Why?
Yeah.
What happened?
So that year I closed 100 deals. It was about 20 million in volume back then in 2016 without administrative help. Now keep in mind my paralegal background helped me with organization, even though I'm terrible at it, but I had no choice. So I was trying to survive.
So you closed how many?
My car, 100.
Gotcha.
My car was full of fast food bags. I had, at that point, we had 2 children, 2 little kids at home. My husband is a saint, so he was doing a lot of those duties, picking them up from daycare, dropping them off, all of that, just so that I could survive in the business. And I had a fear around hiring. And my fear was I'm already responsible for 2 little kids. How can I bring somebody else into my world and be responsible for their families? And what I didn't realize at the time was that's part of the blessing of this industry and what it feels like to bring people into your world. I didn't understand it then. So I was operating from fear until my MAPS coach said, you don't have a choice. You either burn out, you get out of the business, or you start building something.
Well, let's back up for a second. So, how do you close 100 transactions by yourself?
I don't know.
That's crazy. I mean, that's crazy.
I don't know. Yeah, and everyone thought that I gave the best service because I was so responsive. The issue is that I had to be responsive because if I wasn't, I would forget to do something. So that was my survival game plan. Now I've changed since then. I'm not responsive. I have a life by design, and I had to build a business to get to that point. Back then, if you don't respond to that text right away, you don't email right away, you forget, and then the file unravels. So I didn't have a chance to change that up. I had to survive.
Well, I love that conversation. I'd love to have it for a few minutes. I get the responsiveness, right? The need to, if I don't pick up the phone, if I don't answer the text, if I don't email back immediately, the world falls apart somehow. But how did you get to the other side to not be that responsive and
leverage?
Okay, so you were able to. So when you say a life by design, you mean you went and got help.
Yep, I got lots of help from many people, and we run our team a little interesting. I've found out when I talk to other teams where I want everyone on the team to have a life by design. Admin, staff, salespeople, everyone, and you can build a big business and still have your family time, everything. So that was probably the biggest lesson that I learned by incorporating leverage.
Now, do you still sell a lot of real estate personally?
Not really. We just brought on a listing specialist this year, so we're sending her out. I take one here and there, so I would say I cherry pick the sellers. Otherwise, my role right now, I do lead generation and then pass out the leads.
So you went from a business where you did 100 in a year to a business today, 5 years, 6 years later, where you're only doing a couple of transactions or a handful of transactions, and you're doing over 120 transactions.
Right.
Got that. So tell me the structure of your organization real quick. I'm just curious how you found leverage, so you hired someone and asked, what did you ask them to do?
Oh, fix me. I said, I am a mess. And the lady smiled at me, and she thought, ooh, a project. I like a project. And she's still our director of operations. So that was a key hire. And she said, what systems are you using? And I showed her my system, which was
no system.
Well, I had a system. I had cups of
Okay.
popsicle sticks. So I had my clients in one cup, so their names are on the popsicle sticks. And when I got them under contract, I moved them over to a cup, and then I moved them to the closed cup. So the database was popsicle sticks in a cup.
Okay, I have to ask, where did the popsicle sticks come from?
I don't know. The craft store actually found them in my house and said, "Here's something I can use."
So you're very
And she said,
visual.
yeah, she said, we need an actual database. So she started setting things up for me, and that's where we grew from there. We brought on a buyer agent because we had a need for it. And the first buyer agent was actually someone that took me to coffee. She said, "You need help. You're giving me all this business and you're just taking referral fees. Why don't you bring me on your team as your first agent? Let's do the splits that Keller Williams talks about for teams, and let's build something." And she also is still with us.
Wow. So I want to back up, and that is, so you moved to a database. Can you talk to us about that?
I don't really know
When
what
you
she
say
did.
that, what does that actually, well, when you say you moved to a database, are you saying that you actually got a software program
Not
and
really.
okay, what happened?
But it was better than popsicle sticks. So we did, I think she had an Excel spreadsheet then. We're in Command today, so that's good.
Okay.
And back
Okay.
then we used the Excel spreadsheet to track everything.
Okay. Gotcha. So you went from popsicle sticks to Excel,
To
right?
Command.
Yeah, I got it. Popsicle sticks to Excel to Command.
Yeah, but you know what? If the database is the one you use, right? And I was
Yeah.
using the popsicle sticks. However,
Yeah.
when you incorporate leverage, you've got to get something everybody can use.
Well, I think that's right. I mean, I think that the lesson that you're teaching everyone is that your database can go into any form that makes sense to you, and
Right.
yeah, and as long as you stay in relationship and follow up, whatever method allows you to do that,
Yep.
that works.
I agree.
So when you think about generating enough leads to do 129 units, what would you say your 2 or 3 pillars of lead gen are?
Sphere of influence, past clients, and that's the reason why I do so much lead generation still. We've built the business, I call it organically, grown from the ground up. No paid leads, and just, loving our people and asking them to send us business. That's been huge for us, and our referral network.
You're saying that 99% of your business comes from your sphere.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been
So
very, very good to us.
what are the 2 or 3 things that you do consistently to make sure that you're serving your sphere?
Great question. We just reach out to them. So still 20 contacts a day.
Okay, and everybody has to do that, or you just do it?
I do it. I prefer for the sales team to be out selling, getting contracts. If they are slow and we're not hitting our goals, then of course, we hit the phones, we make the contacts. But for me, I feel like I like to feed the team. I like to hold the leads. I like to give them out and just say, go, convert, sell.
So what does 20 contacts a day look like to you?
It can be all over the place. It can be text, email, Facebook message. Really, I remember the client and how they like to be communicated with and do that. Phone calls.
Got it. You're just calling. Hey, it's
They're
Stacey.
just calling,
Hey, it's Stacey. How are you doing?
right? Yeah, I think that's the beauty of this business is that we can all do it, right? You just make the contacts. The worst thing we can do is be stagnant.
I agree 100%. Yeah, it's always shocking to me how agents spend so much time trying to figure out how not to have contact with people,
Yeah.
which
And
seems
right now,
crazy.
I feel like it is crazy. I feel like the agent community right now is very excited. They feel it shifting and they know it's their time to take territory, or they're scared. And either way, just make the contacts. You'll be okay.
That's right. That's 100% true, by the way. So what do you think your number one challenge is today? What when you wake up in the morning, or what do you think your 2 or 3 challenges? What do you think those are?
Yeah, self-sabotage. Absolutely. Where you wake up and you're so excited and then you have to ask yourself, okay, can I do this? Yes. And then how? So that's a conversation. I wake up out of bed so excited and grateful to do this. And I also have to ask myself, okay, how? What's your next move? How are you going to do this?
Gotcha. So self-sabotage, is that how you overcome it? How do you overcome self-sabotage?
Yeah, that's how I overcome it. And of course, having a MAPS coach, I think that's huge. Having someone in your corner to tell you that you're capable of it. And here's how. And just a reminder that people have come before you and here's how they did it.
Okay. So if you were giving me advice in the real estate space today, no matter who I am, new, experienced, or whatever, what are the 2 or 3 things you're going to tell me?
So I guess the one thing I would say is building a team. If anybody is scared to do it, when you do bring people into your world and you start to see how their lives change and their families and they're able to leave legacies, that is the most fulfilling thing you can ever imagine. So it really, it changes everything. It's no longer
Wow.
about the money. It's about what you can do for everybody else, which is very cool.
Yeah. So it's kind of that's a journey that you went on that was unexpected, isn't it?
Very unexpected. I thought I was going to make a lot of money and retire and ta-da, and here I am just wanting to do more.
Yes, absolutely. All right, dear, I'm going to let you go. Thank you for your time today. It was a real honor and a pleasure to see you and talk to you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys.
Hey, if you want to learn more, just check out these other videos.